Hey everybody, this is Ramon Ray, founder of smarthustle.com. Thanks for listening to the sound of my voice, watching this video, or reading this article. So glad you're here with us today. We inspire and educate small business owners to start and grow successful businesses. If I spoke too fast, you didn't hear what I said, I'm sorry. That's just how I roll. Excited today to have Jen Griswold with us today. Jen is an amazing entrepreneur who has an interesting background, what she did, what she's doing, and maybe she'll reveal where she's going. I don't know. We'll see. And she's definitely connected to a military spouse. And a big shout out to our mutual friend, Jill, who's helped me to shine the light. We love all entrepreneurs, but I think we have a little special thing in our heart more than others. So Jen Griswold, welcome to the Smart Hustle podcast. And thanks for taking the time to share your brilliance with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. You're so welcome. And as I told you offline, I don't know about you, but I get jealous very easily. So like I'm looking at your branding. I love it. The colors are just amazing. And your website is just like amazing. So I just want to give you props for that. So Jen, why don't you just unpack a bit and help us understand in your words where so today, Jen Griswold helps female founders, and I'm sure maybe others, but grow and start businesses, grow businesses, especially in the fields of marketing and branding and more. And you can say that better than I did in a minute. But you've been somewhere before that. You really grew another part of your business, as it were, and grew that. I'd love to hear about that. And then you have an app that you're launching as part of the Jen Griswold empire as well. So take a minute and just summarize for us where you've been and where you're going, and then we'll unpack some lessons learned.
Yeah. Okay. So as you mentioned, we're a military family. My husband and I both went to the Air Force Academy for college, which is where we met. He became a pilot. I became an aircraft maintenance officer.
Okay.
It was a really noble way to start our careers. But once we started having kids, we had to shift and sort of take on a new identity, or at least for me, I decided to join the Air Force Reserves, and he kept flying, and he still is active duty. And I had to reinvent myself.
And I want to underline that both of you were serving. I came in just thinking, we think of spouse, but that's right. It could be military spouse, but both could have been in service. So double underline. Thank you both for that. Continue, please.
Yeah, but it was a tough transition. I mean, to go from being a hard-charging military officer to being a mom with 2 little kids in diapers really rocked my world. And I always say it, I would rather manage 250 mechanics than 2 kiddos in diapers. It was a really tough change.
Yes.
And because we move every couple of years, keeping a career path was really tough. I wanted to work part-time and be a mom. I tried valiantly to be a stay-at-home mom for about 3 years and just really realized that's not my best self. So I wanted to go back to work, but then I started realizing these military spouses have a really tough time because you move so much, because you might start in one career field and then change. So 90% of military spouses are under or unemployed. And I was the child of 2 entrepreneurs. I grew up with my bedroom being next to my parents' office, and I would watch them every single night. And so I thought, you know what, there's a way to solve this problem, and I think it's to start something of my own. And so that really kicked my brain into this entrepreneurial mindset. I started looking for mentors and found nobody. There were no military spouses of higher rank than us that I could look to be of help to me, and to say, okay, if I have $700, how should I invest this in my first business? And so at that moment, I knew I was going to do something in the business world, but I also made a note in my head of, when you get there, turn around and be that mentor for other people. So I ended up starting a Rodan and Fields business and have a team of 9,000 skincare consultants all over the globe on military installations all over the world, as well as here in the US, Canada, and in Australia. But then once I had success with that, I was able to fund my real dream, which is called Mission Entrepreneur.
And before we get there, so just so I understand, and the name of the business, Rodan, again, remind me.
Rodan and Fields.
That's right, Rodan and Fields. So this is one you founded, or you were part of that, but you part of it, but that means you nurtured, which is, I think, is a big number. Tell me if you're like, no, Ramon, most people do 1 million, but I think, yeah, that's okay. So I don't want to slowly 9,000. So kudos to you for having that means you were good at networking, communication, speaking, sales, being a mom to 9,000 others. That's a whole baller right there, correct?
Yes, but really my big motivation was providing these jobs for military spouses. So I didn't know all those things. I didn't know how to speak and nurture and do all those things just yet. In fact, I was really intimidated to work with women because I had worked with all men in the military. So it was very scary to go into this skincare world that I knew nothing about. But I was so motivated to help women find jobs and to, switch that 90% underemployment rate that I was willing to learn sales and all those other things. And so Yes, that was a beautiful story of growth over now it's 10 years in Rodeo
Wow.
Fields. And the company had a great story. I mean, it's a women's empowerment company, so it was really the right place for me. But
Nice.
then it gave me all the skills to start Mission Entrepreneur, which, now we have a team of 8 women, all entrepreneurs in their own right, but bring their skills to the table to help marketing, branding, and websites for women that are just starting up. And our philosophy is, just like I always wished for many years ago, is that we lock arms with a new entrepreneur and we take them through with our expertise, make sure they get the job done, help them with our experience, and really like make them feel like they have a virtual team right next to them. So it's been really fun.
I love that. And help us unpack then what lessons you're learning. So you are, in essence, the summary, fair to say, marketing agency, building able to build websites and branding and et cetera. Yes?
Mhm.
Got it. And then what type of the businesses are you serving, or is it a broad sector? That's question one. Tell us about some of the types, unless it's broad based, which is fine too. Curious.
Yeah, it's pretty broad, but I would say it's the nervous startup, woman who's starting up. So it could be a yoga instructor who's trying to brand herself, as a wellness expert. It could be an accountant who needs her first website. We've got a whole variety of different typically service-based businesses, but for the most part, they're just looking for guidance. And what I've found working with women, very much different than working with men,
Mm.
is that they thrive when they have a community of women around them. They're able to make better decisions, able to, feel more confident, able to kind of go for the next thing. Whereas guys, knowing, what I worked with in the military, they'll get an idea in their head and just go for it, whether it's good or bad. You're going to go into the ground, down in flames, but you're going to do it. Women need that reassurance. They need that community around them. So we really have, kind of created that in the way that we do our work.
Wow. And I'm just curious, again, I don't want to go too deep into this. I want to, but for the sake of my audience, I won't do this. I want to go deep into military versus civilian, but can you just give us a taste of it, help us understand it? Those who haven't had the pleasure of serving, what is that like? Jen has, 240 guys and 10 ladies in front of her, under her command. Again, I'm sure it's not even justice for you to imagine it. What is that like, and the difference versus you now have 8 people working for you? Can you help us? All we know is what we see in the movies. Jen can come in and probably just with her posture, get order, because that's how the military is, right? It's I'm guessing, just so I understand, it's based on that fundamental principle, that of order. What's it like then when you're it's you and your 7 employees or contractors in Jen Griswold Inc.? What's the difference?
Yeah, it's very different. First of all, in the military setting, you gain respect just by the way of your rank, right? So you can tell somebody, I outrank you, you got to do what I ask you to do, and that's how we're going to get the job done. In this day and age, we're all working virtually. My team of 8 is all over the country in different communities. We've never met each other all in person, even though we've been in business for over 3 years. And it's all about them wanting to be a part of this team. So I have to hope that what we're doing inspires them to give their best, because I can't be there. I'm not sitting next to them. I don't know, what they're doing in the rest of the day. We have one meeting each week. And we really are committed to the idea that we come alongside women. And that, I think, is the magic. I think that inspires my entire team to give their best. Because in this latest project where we launched Boss Lady Bio, it was completely a random idea that just came out of us building websites for women and then handing them over this rocket ship that they would look at us like with a deer in headlights, like, okay, if I want to put a new blog post up, how do I do that? And it felt frightening to hand them this monster that they couldn't quite manage. So we realized, okay, every woman though has social media. Some of them aren't willing or aren't tech savvy enough to really manage their website fully. So what is something we could do in the middle? And we saw that there was other bio link tools out there that were very basic. So we thought, what if we could bring some of our expertise in making websites and turn this bio link tool into a powerful mini site that any woman could use on her social media? And so we just launched that 2 weeks ago. We're getting a huge response. It's really fun to see how women of all types are using it. Now, we designed it with women in business in mind so that they could get, turn their fans into customers. But we're also seeing that nonprofits and teams and, just the average woman like my mother-in-law who has a bunch of Zoom links for her Bible studies can use this tool to, better her life. So it's really kind of fun to see it come to life.
I love it. I thought at first maybe your mission was just military mission, but I'm getting a hint by a word or two you just used that you and I have a little more in common than you may think, and mission could be more than military. So I like that word mission. So, but and tell us why we're on that. What's the name of the tool again? And why don't we? I want to dive in a bit more some lessons learned from marketing, but tell us a bit how the tool works and what it does. And it's Boss name.
Boss Lady Bio.
Boss Lady Bio, and what's
Mhm.
the essence of it? The paint a mental picture what it does again.
So it's a web app, and we discovered that women, our target market, women between 30 and 60, typically are on their phone on the go a lot of times, but they actually like to set things up from their desktop. So we kept it a web app versus an app, which would just be on your phone, so that you can set it up. It is not only a website, so it looks good on your desktop, but it's also mobile friendly, so you can see it on your mobile. And it basically just takes all the elements of a website and takes them into a smaller format. So you've got we basically handpicked all our favorite features from lots of common new things. Like we took the badging feature from Peloton. A bunch of our teammates ride Peloton, so we have a badge on there. You can be a woman-owned business and get a badge. You can be military and get a badge. We took the stories feature from Instagram, where you can have a pop-up video, introduce yourself. So what we've seen on other bio link tools is that they're very static. You don't actually get to see the person's face in real time. So we added that video element so that you can introduce yourself to your potential customers and they can get a feel for who you are behind your bio. Then you've got all the links that you might link to. It could be your website, could be your latest product promotion, it could be your latest podcast interview, it could be your latest YouTube video. And then you've got 3 places to highlight products.
Got it.
So I did a Today Show interview, I've got that on mine. You know, you could be selling a t-shirt, you could have whatever other things you want there. There's a space for a testimonial or a quote, and then you've got a virtual business card people can call or email you straight from the bottom. But my favorite part of the bio is at the very bottom. We call it the Empowered Spotlight Connection, and it's basically a trail of what other woman invited you in. So you can see, okay, maybe
Like
my friend
Clubhouse.
Sally, it's Clubhouse. We totally took the feature from Clubhouse, changed it a little bit. But basically you can see my friend Sally invited me in. We call it Empowered Connections. So it would say Sally, or I was empowered by Sally, and then we'll have her little picture there. You can click on that and it goes to her bio. So
what happens, Jen, if me and Sally just have bad blood? Like, you know, last week she didn't say hi to me at church. I don't want to forgive her. I'm angry. Can I like X her out, or I just gotta forgive her then because she's in there for life? Which one is it? Do I have an
I'm
option?
so glad you asked that question, because our team has thought through everything. So we had that in mind. We do have a feature where you can take her off if she's not your person, you want to be connected.
But I'm sure before you confirm it, it comes up. Do you really want to do this? Are you sure you don't want to reconcile? They have to like double confirm before they do something like that.
We have it in our FAQs. There's a process for how to remove it.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
No, this is great. And so what have you learned as you're helping these business owners grow, especially in the marketing? It's a very broad question, so there's no one answer, but I'm curious, what are the top 3 things that that the challenges are of these businesses? They have a dream, they have a business, they want to launch a water bottle company, doggy daycare company, whatever they're doing. And they need clearly the marketing and branding that you and I know so well. When they come to you, what's the challenge? What are the things you're telling them not to do? What are the things you're saying, you have to do this? Walk me through as best you can, kind of a Jen's playbook of her last 30 days, the similar conversations you've had, if you understand what I'm trying to ask.
So the first thing that I'll say, and this is very unique to women, again, having worked with 9,000 of them, is that women will spend money on everything but themselves. It's really hard to convince somebody that they do have the ideas. Women have the same ideas as men, and oftentimes even, they're problem solvers by nature. So they often have the better idea, but they're more willing to give that money to somebody else or to serve somebody else before they'll actually put it in their own pocket to start a business. So I think one of the things I'm so excited about with Boss Lady Bio is the more we get women to put their content out there, even if it's just a link of your favorite recipes, or if it's, your favorite way to do your hair or whatever, even if it's not a business yet, I think the more we encourage women to get their ideas out there, the more that businesses will surface from that. So I have a daughter. I always say, if she sees all of us getting our content out there, she's going to stand on our shoulders and do it faster, farther, and bigger in her generation. So I think that investing in yourself is a real big hump to overcome, but we can do it with, a lot of collective movement, even just by taking baby steps. So that's the first thing. Okay. The second thing is, I think a lot of people get hung up on how to talk about what they do.
Mm.
We offer a free guide that's called the Snappy Brand Statement. And I will tell you, it is the most utilized tool that I could ever give somebody, is just how to quickly convey what they do without going all over the place, right? And I have a lot of interests. I'm a multifaceted woman. That's what I say most women are these days. And so sometimes it's hard to tie those interests together. But if you have a snappy brand statement that overarches all of them, all of mine have to do with empowering women, you feel so much more confident putting yourself out there. And then lastly, I think the thing that I would encourage women to realize, and I said this on another interview the other day, the military was a really big gift to me, because I see so many people get to the end of their life only to realize that it's all about serving others. That's their big discovery. It took them all their lifetime to realize that. I think it was a gift to me to be, 18 years old and to go to the Air Force Academy, because I was given that knowledge right away, that it's all about serving. And so I think the extra pile on top of all your ideas, or the extra thing on top of all that pile, is that if you're serving people, you're always going to be successful. The dollars and cents may not be big at the beginning. The followers may not be big on day one, but if you're serving people, it will always grow, and you'll know you're in the right place.
Wow. That's a master class. And by the way, Jen, a whole nother topic. Did anybody ever tell you that you're great at names? I mean, what's the snappy? What'd you call it? Snappy?
Snappy brand statement.
Snappy brand statement, boss lady bio. I mean, do you have like a book of cool names? Like, or you just
We have a really good copywriter. Allie Smith is an amazing copywriter on our team.
Allie, you're really good. Just so you know, Jen loves you. So this is awesome. And where are you going from here? You've clearly been able to market to, sell to, attract 9,000 ladies in your previous, or a different phase of your life, and you've grown this business, which is amazing. You're making some tools. It seems like some apps ish, as it were. What does the next 2 to 5 years look for you, for your family, for Jen Griswold Inc. As you do what you do?
Yeah. Well, I really realized through this last launch with Boss Lady Bio that there are so few women in the technology space. And I'm not, a tech whiz by any stretch of the imagination. That's why we made this so simplistic that you can fill out your, bio tool in 10 minutes or less. But I think that there's more market share for that. For a woman who's very simplistic, busy, like we all are, multifaceted, I think there's a whole bunch of other tech tools that we can probably build for them. So I think that's got me really interested in staying in that space just a little longer to see what else we can provide.
I like it. Don't forget the small people. When you, Elon, Zuckerberg are like in your palatial house, just, I'm happy to, whatever I can do. Just don't forget the small people.
Well, and that's a good point too. We've had a lot of guys say, can I have a Boss Lady Bio? We actually have plans to make sure that we have another version that's a little gender neutral so that everybody can use it. We just wanted to start with the population I know best, which is,
of course.
Yeah.
And we are different. I mean, there's no shame in that, for sure. I'm curious, by the way, going back to Boss Lady Bio / for example, Jen, or is it Jill.BossLadyBio or custom domains? What's the end product look like?
It's bossladybio.com /username. So whatever your username is. And then we have custom abilities. So we have two different versions. We have a free version that you can use, which is just links and a profile picture. We have a pro version that has all the features I told you about, the intro clip, the empowered connection spotlight, all the testimonials, and all of that. And then we have a custom version. So if you have, your own website and you want to turn your bio into, RamonRay.com /bio, we can do that as well for a custom price. So lots of options.
I love it. I'm so proud of you. Oh, and one thing I did want to ask, totally not unrelated, but should have asked it a few minutes ago, is when do people come to you, Jen? Meaning, let's face it, there's a lot of, I know you're a big enough girl, I can say there's Squarespace out there, Wix out there, WordPress, Google. You can, you don't need a marketer to do it. You go there and 2 minutes later, hit that, and you can even leave the advertising brought to you by GoDaddy up there and get it for free. So what are the type of people, when do people come and say, Jen, I need some professional help. I need a baller. And I say baller is an honorable word. I need ballers to help me build a ninja presence. When do they come to you or our colleagues, right, in the marketing industry? Versus when do they say, you know what, let me just swipe my card and I'll do it myself? What's your guidance for when we know we want to go custom or work with a company like yours, an agency?
That's a really good question. So if you can, figure all that out yourself, more power to you. And I encourage you to do that. I think who comes to Mission Entrepreneur is the woman who's unsure. She's unsure. She knows I could swipe my card, but I really don't feel confident that I would know what to do with that tool. And I might just abandon it altogether, which is what we see a lot of. When they come to us is when we can say, you can walk through the door. We're going to have a marketing clarity session. So we talk about what you're going to do. Then we hand you off to our graphic designer to get your logo. Then we hand you off to our website designer to put all that into your website, and our copywriter to help you with the copy. So we are the step-by-step solution for you to complete all those things in order and ensure that you get them done with somebody locking arms with you. If you feel confident doing that on your own, go do it and then share it with somebody else. You know, that's the whole point of empowering women. But if you feel like you need the guidance and the mentorship of a virtual team, that's where we come in.
I love it. And I would add to that answer to build upon that. I would say as well, I found, because myself, I'm in that same boat. I can, you know, there's tools, right? I can at 3 o'clock in the morning, spin up a one pager if I want, or, you know, work with somebody like yourself. But I think for me also time, which is kind of synonym, a cousin to what you said, but I also add time and expertise. You know, sometimes after I've been like, it's day number 4, Jen, and I'm like, the API, SQL server, connectivity, logo, pixels not working. I'm like, you know what? I spent 40 years on this. It's time for me to get help. So that's the other thing. You know, it's like,
you have talents that you should be spending 99% of your time sharing. Other people have talents to do that for you. We have a team of 8 women. We have one good man, we call him, that does some of the coding for us. You know, he's great at that. He loves it. He can figure out anything that goes wrong with our stuff. It would take me my entire lifetime to figure some of that stuff out. So I think we all need to stay in our lane of expertise. And sometimes that means, yes, you're going to fork out a little bit of money, but you're going to be happier and more productive for it.
for sure.
And we try to keep all of our prices really affordable. I remember, and I always give this example, I had $700 to start my first business, and that was it. No extra pennies.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kept everything really affordable. I was adamant that we have a free version of this Boss Lady Bio because I still remember being that girl that didn't have much, but still wanted it. I was super hungry to get
wanted to be like a boss lady. You're like, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to look like a boss lady.
Yep.
I totally get it. No, I think you're right. And it shows the good leader too on your part, Jen. I think that to your point, we leaders, as I am in my own company, we don't have to know everything. Our job is to inspire people. Military does it a lot. And those of us who were not in the military, we just read Gino Trackmans and Dave Ramsey and others. So to get our knowledge from that. But Jen, anything I didn't ask you, anything you wanted to say before we conclude today's discussion? Anything I didn't ask you or that you wanted to add or anything else?
No, I would just say to all your lady listeners out there, you know, believe in yourself. You have an idea. I always tell people they have an idea they put on the shelf many years ago. Dust it off, give it some life again, find a girlfriend to lock arms with, or find a company that, you know, will help you get the first steps done, and then get out there and do it. And even if that's just starting, you know, your Instagram bio link, that's a great place to start to build your confidence. But the world is going to be a better place with more women businesses in it. I think we can see that if you look at Inc. magazine or Entrepreneur magazine, all the future arrows point to women's empowerment and women's business being the next frontier. So, you know, jump in and ride the wave. I think it's going to be really a great next decade.
I love it. And one more time, I think the best way to reach you, if it's a different site, let me know, but jengriswold.com. Is there a different site you want people to go to and check out?
Yeah, we have missionentrepreneur.com if you want to check out all the marketing and branding that we do there. And then of course you want to check out the BioLink tool at bossladybio.com. You can use my code Jen Griswold, JENGRISWOLD, to get your first month for just $1.
I love it. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ramon Ray, founder of SmartHustle.com, where we inspire and educate small business owners to start and grow successful business owners. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, watching this article, reading this article, watching this video, definitely you want to give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, let Jen know that you're listening to her knowledge. And definitely we'd love to hear your comments on YouTube or other platforms. But again, this is Ramon Ray, SmartHustle.com. We just had a great interview with Jen Griswold, who shared her insight and experience with us on the tools and other things she's doing for lady entrepreneurs. So thank you so much. Be well and have an awesome, awesome day.